Welcome back to Operation Arsenal, guys. A professional routine win tonight, wouldn't you say, against Leeds in the Carabao Cup. We are now through to the quarterfinals. It seems like Chelsea have gone through. I believe QPR and was it Sunderland are still playing. Hopefully we get one of those teams and not Chelsea. We want the easiest run that we can get, obviously. But I tell you what, talking of easy runs, Leeds was not an easy draw, and we've done a really good job today. Did you know that since the international break, that is 7 games without losing now? We beat Norwich, we beat Burnley, we beat Wimbledon, we beat Tottenham. That was a great one. We then had a little bit of a dip, I would say, against Brighton and Crystal Palace, where we drew both of those games. And to be fair, against Crystal Palace, it was just not good enough. And the Brighton game was tough. Brighton have done a very good job this season. I think they're having a slight slump themselves, but that was always going to be a tricky game. At the time, they were in the top 4, I believe. And then, of course, we've gone on to beat Aston Villa and now Leeds. So going back to the first 3 games of the season before that international break, where everyone was going crazy about the 3 losses we had and that Arteta should be going and tactics aren't working, we're just a lost cause. Suddenly things are looking a lot better, right? It's funny. I think Arsenal's Septembers and Octobers are always so much better than their Augusts and unfortunately their Novembers and Decembers. And unfortunately, guess what's next? Yep, we have November and December coming up. That is normally where we define our season, I feel like. This time last season, we were doing all right. And then we got into that November period where I remember our only goal in November was against United, wasn't it? It was that penalty. And then we went into December and we just could not score goals. And the season was done by the end of Christmas. So hopefully that's not going to happen again. I think we're on the up. We're doing really well. How about the new signings, man? I know I've mentioned it a few times, but I think we do have to give not just Arteta, but all of the staff behind the transfers this summer a lot of credit because they've all been fantastic. And I'm not necessarily just saying that because of today's win. Not all of them were on display, but just in general, you know, the general form since that international break, we've seen a lot of those new signings do really well for us. One of them, of course, being Ben White, who has picked up an injury today. I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm hoping it's nothing serious. If Ben White's out, I don't think it's the end of the world. We still have Gabriel and we could have Holding come in, who I thought did really well tonight. He started alongside Ben White. I think we would be okay. Thing is, though, Benjamin White walked off the pitch. Hopefully nothing too serious. And then later on in the game, Holding went down with cramp, I think it was. He then got subbed off, and we ended up, now just for a moment, Arsenal fans, we are approaching 2022. And guess who was playing at centre-back towards the end of this game? Kolasinac. And the crazy thing is he wasn't even that bad. It's very easy to laugh and say, oh, Kolasinac, he's rubbish. And yeah, he's not the quality we need these days. He's not going to take us further, but he does an okay job for us, and he's a versatile player, I guess. He's strong, and he defended Mesut from those moped thieves, whatever you want to call them. If you don't remember that, honestly, every now and again it just pops up on my Twitter feed or whatever. Who remembers when it seemed like Ozil was going to get robbed by 2 guys on a moped, and then you've got Kolasinac jumping out and backing him up? I love it. Absolutely love it. I'll always love Kolasinac for that, but certainly not for things he does on the pitch. Not the best player, but he did all right tonight. I'm trying to think of the standout performer tonight, and look, don't get me wrong, it's a 2-0 victory. I'm really happy, but I actually don't think it was that great of a performance, especially in that first half. I think this was actually a case of Leeds making a lot of errors. I think defensively they were all over the place at times. On the attack, they actually looked like the more dangerous team in that first half. I believe they had more shots on target, more shots in general than us. But the halftime talk and maybe a few changes, a few tweaks to the system, we came out a lot stronger in the second half, and that's, of course, where we've won the game 2-0. Let's talk about the first goal because I mentioned Ben White getting subbed off. He was injured. Chambers came on and within, I think it was 23 seconds, headed in from a corner to make it 1-0. And that, I believe, is 4 goals from corners in our last 3 games. You have to go all the way back months from then backwards to when we last scored from a corner. We weren't scoring from corners. It just wasn't happening. And now, I might be wrong. Is it 4? It might be 3. it's still crazy to me. All of a sudden, clearly some training has gone into that. We've been doing it on the training pitch and it's working. We're scoring goals from corners. I think a big part of it is Smith Rowe taking the corners. I don't know what it was before, when it was Saka taking them or Pepe taking them. Today we had Smith Rowe. We had that against Aston Villa, and I think it was Cedric as well tonight, just swinging in some beautiful corners. I think we should just keep it simple. Whip it into the box, near post, whatever you got to do. We look dangerous. We've got a lot of good players in the box that can head the ball, and that's really worked for us. So superhero, super sub, Chambers coming on and making it 1-0, and it was great to see him. He looked so happy when he scored. He's been at this club for so long. I was sitting next to Ellen, my wife. She was like, "What? He looks so old now. Chambers had a baby face. What's going on?" And now he's one of the older players, one of the more senior, experienced players. We have the youngest squad in the league, I believe, on average at the moment. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to me that Chambers is now one of our senior players. And we've kind of shifted on, haven't we? We went through a stage of bringing in finished Chelsea players or just older players in general. And now, off the top of my head, we only have a couple of players that are actually over 30. And only a couple of those that maybe aren't necessarily involved that much. You know, we still use Aubameyang, and you know, I do believe that Cedric he's still useful in some ways. Lacazette as well. But yeah, we've kind of shifted away from having these older players like David Luiz and Willian and Petr Cech, and yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for a younger squad that have desire to really win things and push on in their career. And even if it's not at Arsenal, they're looking to get that move in the future to a top club. Look, I'm just being honest. We're a stepping stone for a couple of these young players, I'm sure, you know, and they want to win things. And, you know, I think back to the days where we had some of those older players that I just mentioned, and they've done it all. They've been there and done that in the game. They've won all the trophies, and there isn't that desire there anymore, potentially. I certainly felt that with Mesut Ozil. But anyway, getting sidetracked, you know I love to do that. Let's talk about the second goal, which was quite remarkable in two ways. I don't know how Nketiah scored, and I don't know how he almost missed it. When have I ever said something like that before? The work to get to the goal was incredible. A loose header from, I think it was Cooper, the Leeds defender. He's headed it back towards Meslier, the keeper. It's a short header, and Nketiah is onto it. And he lobs the keeper. Somehow he got a touch to it. I still don't know. He's quick, isn't he? And then he touches it down so smoothly. Oh, it was beautiful. He kept it in play. He's lining up the shot, and then he scuffs it completely, and it just rolls into the net. And you can see him afterwards when he's celebrating. He looked towards the bench, I think. They're all laughing because he almost missed it, and he went like this. It was close. One of the weirdest goals. You think, wow, that is absolutely unbelievable technical ability to lift it over such a young, promising goalkeeper that maybe should have got there, to then take the touch and keep the ball's momentum and run along with it, keep it near his feet, and then the composure to almost miss it. But 2-0, he does his celebration. Loads of celebrations these days, players on the phone. I don't know what that's about. Good reception. You can always rely on me. Give me a call. I don't know what that is with Nketiah, but mate, if he's scoring goals week in, week out, whenever we bring him on as a sub or start him in the League Cup like we've done today, I want to see this all the time. But now we've talked about the goals, there's one thing that's on my mind right now, and I know I might get a little bit of heat for this, and it might be a bit hypocritical. I can't remember the last time I really spoke about this player, certainly not recently, and that is Gabriel Martinelli. I've got to be honest, guys, I was very, very disappointed with him today. Same with Pepe. You know, and Pepe, it's a tough one because I don't want to be harsh on Pepe because he has done good things for us. He was good last season, 20 plus goals and assists. He has contributed. Whereas Martinelli, especially in the last 18 months or so, he's not been given enough time. And I don't necessarily think this is his fault, but right now I do actually see a slight stagnation. He's not getting enough minutes, and 100% he's got the ability to be a superb player. But today, I didn't see enough from Gabby. It's such a tricky one because I don't actually think I like the way he plays sometimes. He's very, very predictable. Some of those attacks today, I wish he would either just continue running along the edge of the box there and maybe getting a cross in with his weaker left foot, or just whipping one in the air, whatever, just get the ball into the box. But the thing is, Martinelli, he's very set in that way of thinking where he needs to stop the ball. He needs to cut it back and then open it up on his right foot. And whilst that works, we've seen it in many, many occasions in the last few decades of football. One of the players that I always think of is Ian Robben, the best inside forward you could ever imagine, just cutting in on that left foot. I get why Martinelli wants to do it, but sometimes in football, you can't be so predictable. The defenders knew what he was doing every time. It's quite frustrating to watch that, and I think it's the same with Pepe. You know he's got no right foot. You just show him onto his right foot, and he can't do anything. He wants to go on his left. With Martinelli, they were doing the same, but it was the opposite foot. They just didn't let him go onto his right foot. So he was basically ineffective. He runs a lot. I do love that when he's got the ball, he's very energetic, and he does press. I think that there is a player there. There is some real quality there, but I just feel like he needs a run in the team. But he won't get a run in the team if he doesn't take his chances. And today, he just didn't. He didn't impress me today. But then again, no one really impressed me that much. It really wasn't one of those top displays. Again, as I said at the start of the video, I feel like this was us being good, professional, got the job done, 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10 if you're pushing it, of a performance. And then you've got Leeds that were probably a 4 out of 10 defensively. And in midfield, I think Phillips was really rusty. He's been out injured, and they just lost the ball a lot of times. The amount of times they tried to pass it backwards, across, whatever, and it just went out of play. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe some of the messy passes. I don't think Bielsa's going to be very happy with that. But yeah, I think really today was just a good day for Arsenal, but just a bad day for Leeds. And maybe on another day, if they had a fully fit squad, they would have taken some of their really good chances in the first half. I think Dan James had a really good one, which somehow he didn't get on the end of. Rodrigo had a couple of good moments, and Leno made a good few saves. But in general, it just wasn't very good from Leeds. So I think it's actually Leeds lost the game. Arsenal didn't necessarily win it just by themselves with some top quality play. But we're through. We're through to the quarterfinals. Let me just check. Has the draw been made? I don't think it has been. I'm just checking now. I'm on my Twitter feed. No, I don't think it has been drawn yet. So hopefully we avoid Chelsea. Hopefully we get a somewhat easy draw. But the thing is, we're going to face Chelsea if we're going to win this competition. And you might as well play them straight away, right? Stop wasting time. But I'd love to have a Wembley final against Chelsea. If that's when we're going to play them, let's do it. Why not? I don't see why not. We're playing really well at the moment. But of course, that's in time. That's in many weeks. So who knows how we'll be doing then. But thank you for watching Operation Arsenal once again, guys. Shout out to the dude I met at Tesco today. You said you're looking forward to the Operation Arsenal episode. Thanks for that, mate. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Arsenal episode. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. It's tough times in the Arsenal career mode. So please do check it out tomorrow. It's, yeah, tough times for sure.